Hello, and welcome to another episode of my podcast, The Awesome Caregiver. So, I'm sorry it took so long to make another episode, but I was running out of ideas of what to talk about. I'm not really a talker. I've been doing this podcast for a little bit, and I think every time it gets a little better and a little better every episode. So, my confidence is going up more and more as I'm doing it. But, like I said, I was starting to run out of ideas on what to talk about. So I went to Facebook, to Ste'ce's Facebook account, which is Shay and Ste'ce, SHAE, space, the capital N, space, STE, apostrophe CE. Go and follow us if you haven't done so already. And like our page, please. But like I was saying, I took to Facebook and I made a post and I said, I need podcast ideas, please. And you guys did not disappoint. There were quite a few good topics to talk about there, but the one that caught my eye and interests me in talking about is a mom asks about her child having issues with sleeping. What causes problems with sleeping? She said that she was using melatonin, but the child still wakes up in the middle of the night and sometimes cannot go back to sleep. Now, this comment caught me because Ste'ce also struggles with insomnia, and he has been for years. It has been years. I have tried a lot of different things, and with him being 17 now, his insomnia is not as much of an issue because he's a little bit older and he's able to manage it on his own. And also, I know that he's going to be safe because he won't get up out of his room and roam around and get into any trouble in the middle of the night. He's old enough to know not to do that. But what if your child isn't old enough to know not to do that? What if they're not? So, let's break down the problems, sleep problems in people, specifically children with autism. So I went to a website and I did a little research and I saw an article. I forget the name of the article, but if you do a general Google search, sleep problems in autism or autism and sleep problems, it'll pull up a lot of resources. The particular one that I read, it states that sleep problems are twice as common among kids with autism as they are among typical children. And this to me says a lot. So they're twice as common. So if your child has autism, it's more likely that they will have sleep problems as well. Let's talk about why your child has sleep problems. First off, the article also says many people with autism have other conditions such as stomach issues, gastrointestinal problems, and ADHD and anxiety. And all of these things can cause sleep problems as well. Now, I know a little bit about each of these subjects, each of these conditions. As far as stomach problems, let's face it. If your stomach's queasy, or if you have a irritable tummy, if your child has an irritable tummy, that could cause them to have sleep problems too. So that could be something to look into to see if your child is suffering from this. Gastrointestinal, same thing. If your child is having issues with that, that could cause sleep problems as well. ADHD. Now, this is something that I'm very familiar with because my son Ste'ce has ADHD. And I also have recently, this year in fact, been diagnosed with ADHD. ADHD could cause sleep issues just as your mind is, or whomever the child, the awesome child that has ADHD, their mind is hyperactive and they can't control it at all. So that could cause sleep problems as well. And the last one, anxiety. Anxiety is, I think, one of the biggest factors. It could very well cause sleep problems. So if your child, awesome child, or person has anxiety, something to look into why they are having this could cause them to have sleep problems as well. So, as far as if your child is not suffering from any of these and you still find that they're having sleep problems, or your awesome loved one is not suffering from any of these conditions and you still find that they are having sleep problems, maybe look at their room. What's in their room? Do they have lights that maybe are buzzing? Are there loud noises outside? The article that I read also says sensory sensitivities to light, sound, or touch may contribute to difficulty sleeping. Now, I find out a lot of children in our children's generation, they tend to sleep with the TV on. Now, I don't find that a problem in Ste'ce's case because he watches a lot of ASMR shows, a lot of shows that have like white noise and etc. like that on YouTube. And I find that that actually is very relaxing to him. So I allow him to watch TV to a certain amount of time. Now, sometimes him watching the YouTube videos does keep him up. So I have put a timer on his TV, and when the timer goes off, he knows that it's time to close your eyes and let's try to go to sleep. And this is something that I've been working on with him for years, and it's become a sort of a routine for him as far as bedtime goes. And that's another thing. Establishing a routine can very much help your child get some sleep at night because we all know that our awesome loved one thrives off of their routine. So add in a nighttime routine and you will see the change. So, for example, Ste'ce's nighttime routine goes like this. After he has a snack, after dinner snack, he goes and takes his shower. He always takes his shower at night. After his shower, I brush his hair, put his do-rag on, and then after that, I allow him to watch TV downstairs for a little bit. After an hour or so, I call him upstairs and I tell him it's time for bed. So at this time, he gathers all his toys and things that he wants to take up in his room. And right now, I'm going to pause right here because I'm speaking on his bedroom. So if you have an extra space or living room or anything like that, I would suggest bringing your child's toys to that space and just have the bedroom as being just the area for sleeping. So you're taking out all the stimulation, all the play stimulation, all their instincts to play in their bedroom and putting it into a completely different room. So now they know that their bedroom is just for sleeping and that's it. Now, back to what I was saying. He brings all the toys up that he wants to take into his bedroom, all straws, whatever he wants to take in there. And I don't allow him to take a lot because guess what? Your bedroom's not for playing. You're not in there playing. You can just have some straws just to keep there next to you. And then after this, I put the timer on his TV on however long. Ste'ce's timer is set to 60 minutes and then it turns off. If you have younger children, you might want to do 60 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on how long you think it's going to take your child to wind down. So after this, I go on and tell him to go to sleep. He sits on his bed, he gets under his covers, and this is a must. It's not negotiable. You have to be laying down and under your covers for me to get out of your space. And if I go in and check on him and he's not, then I redirect him. Okay, get under your covers, and you continue to check and redirect as needed. Eventually, they'll realize that once they're under their covers and laying down, then they'll have their own time to themselves. So we've talked about establishing a routine. Now, what about sensory sensitivities to light? Is there any light or anything like that shining inside your child's room? If there is, I suggest blackout curtains might help. Try to turn off all the bright lights in the room and maybe get some LED lights or a night light of some sort that is soothing to your child or your awesome loved one. Now, Ste'ce has a tiny little bubble machine that also has LED lights in it. I mean, I turned this on before I turned his room light off. Now, the good thing about the bubble light is not only is it a night light for him to be able to see, but it also makes a humming sound, which is like white noise, and it can have a very much calming effect. As far as sounds go, also his TV is turned to a very low volume and he is not allowed to turn it back up. This also helps him sleep. Now, I know it sounds simple just the way that I put it there. I have, Ste'ce and I have been going through years of sleep problems, insomnia, him roaming around in the middle of the night, etc. So I know how it is, and I know that it can be difficult. It can also cause you to lose sleep as well. Ste'ce is 17 now, and because we just been dealing with it so long, I find myself being hyper vigilant at night. I'm a very light sleeper, and if Ste'ce steps his foot off the bed, I wake up. If he comes out of his room, I wake up. So I know that it could cause yourself to have sleeping problems as well. And that's not good because you have to be the one to get up and take care of your awesome loved one in the morning. So if your awesome loved one is having problems sleeping, implement all the ideas and all the things that I've talked about here today. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight or anything like that. If your child happens to fall asleep and get up in the middle of the night, it is okay for you to go into their room and check on them and try to get them to fall asleep. The important thing is that they know just because they're awake, it does not mean that it is time to walk around. It doesn't mean that it's time to play. It doesn't mean any of that. It means that, okay, now let's try to go back to sleep. And it's very important for them to know that you're only getting up in the morning or whenever it is that you want them to get up when you say it's okay. When mom or dad or whomever the caretaker is says it's okay to go ahead and get up and start doing activities or whatever it is that they need to do. Being repetitive in doing this at night over and over again will be practice, and eventually your awesome loved one, if they so happen to wake up in the middle of the night, they will, like Ste'ce does, go to the bathroom, get back in their rooms, get back in their beds, and just lay down and relax. Sometimes they won't be able to go back to sleep, and that's okay. The important thing is that they're not roaming around, walking around unsupervised, and that they're safe in their room. And I tell you what, if you're in your room just doing absolutely nothing, you will probably go to sleep. But I revert back to what I said before about your awesome loved one may have some other conditions, the stomach problems, the gastrointestinal problems, ADHD, or anxiety. These are things to check in with your doctor about and see if the doctor can help you in any way with these things, and then it might help your child sleeping. Now, I know that there are medications, supplements, organic supplements like melatonin, etc. I'm not an expert on these things, and I'm not going to speak on those things. But these are my opinions in how I have used to help Ste'ce get sleep at night and to help him stay asleep. And if he does wake up, he knows what to do. Now, I hope this has helped somebody today. Please keep giving me y'all's ideas. I'm going to try to do a podcast once a week. I know I said I will do that before, but like I said, I ran out of ideas to talk about. So if I keep getting ideas on Facebook and etc., I can do one podcast per week because I know you guys love these podcasts. Well, I hope you guys love these podcasts. Until next time, follow us on Facebook, Shay and Ste'ce, on Instagram, Chef Ste'ce, on TikTok, Shay and Ste'ce, and our YouTube channel, Shay and Ste'ce. And please subscribe to share with your friends, etc. Thank you so much for listening. Okay, bye.